Hi, I'm Marcia, and we're at Canadian Studmuffin's channel. And this episode, we're going to be making our pitches for albums we think each other should listen to. One is a mystery album, and one is an album we are going to describe to our panelists, Larry Graves, Glenn Calloway, Steve from All the World's a Stage, and Chris Levine from Refresher Podcast, and myself, Marcia P. Please be sure to check out the descriptions because there are links to all of our channels and to some other fun things. And also think about becoming a Patreon of Larry's channel.
Thank you.
Ooh, look at Marcia.
Sucking up to the stud.
I've been thinking about that for a while
now. All right. So why don't we start with Chris? Chris, what are your choices this week for us?
Okay. Well, the first one came out in 1978. And it's an album that there was one song that got played on the radio and the rest didn't. But I like them all, regardless of how popular they got. For whatever reason, this particular album speaks to me. It is Talking Heads, More Songs About Buildings and Food. This is when they just started working with Brian Eno. They were kind of becoming a different band. They were growing by leaps and bounds. Jerry Harrison is now part of the band officially. He's on the cover. And just some great tracks. The one track that you're going to hear on the radio is Take Me to the River. But there's a whole lot of really great experimental sounding stuff on this record. I love this record. So that is my first offering is Talking Heads.
All right.
More songs about buildings and food.
All right. And then we will be back to get Chris's mystery pick after we circle around everybody. So Steve, right. You're up. What is your choice? Or your offering?
All right. This came out in 91. This features as the studio band, Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. Also, backing vocals are David Crosby and Chris Hillman, and Elvis Costello is on the album. So essentially what you have here is the Byrds with a really good house band, and that is Roger McGuinn, back from Rio. This was his comeback album. He'd taken 14 years off between albums. There you go.
Glenn, what do you have for us?
I've been scared to death to bring this album. I know Marcia mentioned on a video last week that I should bring this. It's scaring the hell out of me because it's long, and I feel if someone's going to take it, and it's a kind of album like I've not heard an album like this in 20 years that had such an impact on me in terms of trying to just get my head around it and comprehend the vocals and just understand it. It's not that complicated musically, but it just lyrically it's brilliant, and it's Father John Misty's pure comedy. I'm just blown away by this album. I got it a week ago, and I've played it 20 frickin' times at least. And I was playing it just before we come on today, and I'm still just intently just listening to the lyrics.
And that's funny, Glenn. I just listened to that album on my Patreon for one of my members.
I don't know how you can only listen to this once and do a review on it. That's what's got me scared this week, because I'm afraid whoever takes it on is going to have to listen to it 10 times.
Well, I liked it on the
honest review. Yeah. Like and I don't know if it's long. There's a couple of songs that are 12, 13 minutes long. There's a couple that I would throw off if I was in charge of putting this album out. But
how long is it?
Still lyrically brilliant, and
it's 75 minutes.
75 minutes.
So yeah,
it's a long
album. Like
pure comedy.
Pure comedy.
Okay. The first thing you're going to hear is like when you hear it starts. It's piano based, really, with some other little bit of horns and stuff thrown in here every once in a while. But it's Elton John. It sounds like Elton John to a T. This guy's vocals and his inflections, and it sounds like an early Elton John vocal to me. I don't know if you agree with that. Larry. That's the first thing I thought of was Elton John. So, and I've read reviews of it, and every review I've read of it mentions Elton John.
Yeah.
So, that's
All
it.
right. Good choice. Larry, what do you have for us this week?
I have. He used to be in a band called The Animals, and in the mid-70s, he formed this band. This is 2 albums, but it's of course just the one I'm offering. And he redoes he does Ring of Fire. He does It's My Life, Don't Let Me Be Misunderstood, and then some originals. The lead guitarist in this band is so good. Lots of really great, if you love guitar, just really excellent guitar work. It's the Eric Burden Band, and the album is Sun Secrets. 1974.
Okay.
All right. My turn. Okay. I am bringing an album to the show that I know Glenn is going to roll his eyes and poo-poo all over as soon as I suggest it.
Another Richard Hawley album, or
No. Glenn, let me preface this by saying this is my favorite album of the 90s. And please be open-minded. It is The's Dusk.
God,
What a stupid name for a band.
It is the worst name ever. It is lazy. No effort going
it's
into it.
on my embargo list. I can't break it's a law.
So, anyways, Matt Johnson, who is the brainchild behind the will also admit that it is a terrible band name. If that helps me sell this album to you guys. So prior to having a YouTube channel, I was on a podcast about 18 months ago discussing this album with my friend Rob Elba. The podcast is That Record Got Me High. I'm going to include a link in the description, or Larry's going to include a link in the description if anybody wants to hear me talk about it for an hour. But this album is just absolutely stunning. Matt Johnson has this lovely, deep voice. It's all about bleakness and dark themes and a lot of self-destructive tendencies that people have. It's really quite heavy in terms of to take all of the emotions in, but it is only 40 minutes long. Even though this is from the early 90s, there is no CD bloat right here. And he is an excellent songwriter. I wouldn't call it, plaintive songwriting, but nothing is over he's not being, this really pompous intellectual with his songwriting. It's all understandable, but the meanings are deep. So this is my offering. Glenn, please keep an open mind. Oh, and Johnny Marr plays guitar on this and also the harmonica.
Cool.
Yes, and looking up their Wikipedia entry, you should mention, for my sake, they are post-punk.
Oh,
Am I allowed to break the embargo without getting arrested?
they're post-punk, as in everything past 1979 is.
I need to know within the next 5 minutes, or
Post-punk,
I don't want to get arrested.
That's funny. Between jazzy, post-punk, and prog, you eliminated like 3/4 of my record collection back there.
No,
I'm fine with prog. I'm fine with
Steve's all about the progging.
I'm prog with everything
who's
except
not.
Andrew.
I like collectively. I mean collectively.
Oh, okay. This
I-
is why we needed to bring the mystery albums in. That's a good
That's it.
segue. This is why we needed the mystery albums, because otherwise none of us would know what to bring to the show as a mystery album. So as we've been doing, we just each choose 3 words to describe our mystery albums, and if any of them sound appealing to us, we'll pick it. So Chris, start us off.
Okay, my 3 words are 60s vagabond party.
Is that Charles Manson album that he put in?
No.
All right. Steve?
That'd be great if it was, wouldn't it?
All right. My 3 words are Canadian, Studmuffin, inspired.
Well, I know what album I'm gonna.
I was gonna say, you guys thought I was buttering up by suggesting people check out Larry.
You're sucking up to Larry so bad today. I can't even believe it. Oh,
Okay.
there's a romance going on there.
It's funny though, because last week I chose Glenn and Marsh, as I'm thinking, okay, this week I'll probably pick Chris and Steve, and then when I hear that, it's like,
I have to.
It sounds like it's a Justin Bieber album.
All right, Glenn, what do you have for us?
Okay, I got 3 words: retro, soul, and groovin'.
And Larry, you're up.
My 3 words are Southern, 1973, rock.
Rock. Okay. And my 3 words are controversial, rambunctious, maniac. So, Chris, what are your selections for this week?
All right, let's do this. I got it. Okay, ready?
Yep.
Okay.
Classic power trio.
Okay, that's everybody's 3 words, right? Yep.
Okay, so now Chris is up to pick albums. Isn't that what we were doing?
Yes. Chris, please pick your albums that you would like to review this week. And then
Okay,
save your mystery album for when we come back around.
Okay, I can do that. So I'm going to go for one of them is going to be Marsh's mystery album, controversial, rambunctious, maniac. I can work with that. and the other one is going to be Sun Secrets. I know and interviewed the drummer, and he's a wonderful guy, and I've never heard that whole record.
Cool.
So Alvin Taylor is a great drummer. So let me pick that one.
Okay.
Steve, what are your selections this week?
I am also taking the Eric Burden album, continuing my sucking up to Larry today.
I feel like I should be keeping tick marks.
Well, if you look at the spreadsheet, 1, 2, 3, 4 of my last 6 albums picked have been from Larry. And let's see. I guess I will go. I want to go with Glenn's retro soul groovin'.
All right, Glenn, what are your selections this week?
Oh, I'm going to go with. I'm not going with the Marsha. Sorry. I can't do it.
Why?
That's,
Why?
It's the Oingo Boingo rule. I can't break it.
But that's a silly rule because I would like to
You
interject.
don't listen to jazz for what reason?
That's totally different. You're discounting a band because of its name.
Yeah,
And I
our
would
first fight tonight.
I would like to say I have been somebody who put up blinders because of a stupid band name, the Dandy Warhols, and that was wrong because that band is
But that's a good name.
And no, it's not.
Yeah, I like that name.
And I did not listen to them for
Didn't
quite a
fall
number
under
of
the
years,
Oingo
and I
Boingo
missed
rule.
out on some great music.
No, I'm not picking the.
That's a mistake.
You can say
I'm
it
just
if
telling you right
want,
now.
but it's not happening. I am going with. Oh, that's hard. I'm going to go with Chris's mystery album, and I'm going to go with Steve's. I'm going to go with that Canadian Studmuffin inspired album. I got to try it. I was going to pick Roger McGuinn, but I got to pick Steve's Mystery. So I'm picking 2 mystery albums.
Mysteries, yeah.
All right. I would just like to say this, Glenn. I was going to pick both of your albums this week, but not a chance.
His fit.
And you know what? I know the people in the comments are going to have my back and they're going to review my album. So I'm going to be just fine, even if I couldn't convert you. But please listen to the podcast on That Record Got Me High. I think that might be a nice, slow introduction for you. Larry, what are your choices this week?
So, Steve, you had Talking Heads, or
No, Chris had Talking
Chris?
Heads.
Okay, I'm going to go with Chris's Talking Heads because I actually have the album, but I haven't really played it in quite a while. My favorite of theirs is Fear of Music, so I'm going to give that a listen again. And I'm going to also go with Steve's Mystery album because it sounds so interesting and good.
Steve, what was your... Oh, the Canadian Studmuffin.
Inspired.
Inspiration. Okay, inspired. All right. Okay, so my choices this week are... Well, I know I just told Glenn I wasn't going to choose his, but I am a woman of my word, and I told him to bring the Father John Misty. So that is going to be my selection. And then, but I'm definitely not taking your mystery pick.
That's too bad because you would have loved it.
I'm sure I would. Those are 3 words. We have the 5 words I don't like. 3 words I do like are retro, soul, and groovin'. But I'm very curious about this Canadian Studmuffin inspiration as well.
Wow, 3 people. I didn't get to play last week. This week, everybody's
It's
all
better be
over.
good, Steve.
Yeah.
I hope it's not Doug and Bob McKenzie or something.
I was going to say everybody's listening to Sparks this week.
All right, Chris, show us your mystery album.
Okay, my mystery album is by a band called the Groundhogs.
Mm-hmm.
This came out in 1971, and it is entitled Split.
Yep. I've heard of them. With McPhee, right, on guitar?
Let me see here.
Something McPhee.
Yes, you got it. Tony McPhee.
Yeah, Tony McPhee. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I've never heard of that album, so good.
Mm-hmm.
Steve, you're up.
All right. If you watch Larry's channel, he went on a little shopping spree with the band. And this is Phil May and the Fallen Angels from 1978.
You mean he had the same band name as Graham Parsons?
I don't know what Graham Parsons' band name was. So
The Fallen Angels.
Oh, okay. Well, then he has the same name. But he has John Povey is on here. So, but it is a very good album. They were kind of on a hiatus when he.
Is that self-titled? Just
Phil May and the Fallen Angels, 1978.
Okay.
And he, of course, is the lead singer for The Pretty Things.
Yeah.
Oh, so I get another Pretty Things.
That's awesome. I'm
in a month.
Very happy with both mine.
2 Pretty Things things. Or 2 Pretty Things things. Well, I didn't know that. I'm excited to listen to that. Okay, Glenn.
Steve, you made a great pick. Marcia could have picked it. I'm telling you, it's an album I just picked up last week or so. Vintage Trouble.
Oh, I have an album by them.
One Hopeful Road.
I don't have the slightest idea who that is.
They're the first song has kind of got it starts off with a heavy slide guitar thing, and you think it's going to turn into a rock album, but it's total soul. I mean, the black vocalist, he's just like got the most soulful voice.
What's the band's name?
Vintage Trouble.
Yeah.
One Hopeful Road.
I think I may know something about them now that, well, I'm not going to sit here and scroll on my Discogs list and hold everybody up. Larry.
Nobody picked my secret album.
Who is
Black
it?
Oak, Arkansas.
Oh,
Oh, good for me.
yeah. I'm not a big fan of those guys either.
No, I'm okay with that.
I like Southern
selection.
rock, but I'm not that band.
Trouble connecting to
Never
the
did it
internet.
for me.
Please check your Wi-Fi network.
Shut up.
You and that TV.
Oh,
All right, so Chris is the only
Mhm.
one that took any of my suggestions this week. Again, I have faith in our viewers that they're going to listen to my albums. But Chris, you have an awesome listen this week, and it's Jerry Lee Lewis live from the Star Club.
I have.
I
Oh.
had that. That was
It
really
is a
good.
great album.
And it is fantastic.
Yeah,
Steve, I know you have this, so I wasn't
Yeah.
I wasn't disappointed you didn't select it, because I know you will back me up in saying that it's incredible.
And I can tell you that's from 1964.
yeah. I've heard that album too. That's a really good album.
All right.
All right, we've got all of our picks, all of our listens for the next week. Please play along in the comments, and for those that have been playing along in the comments, thank you so much. It's been so much fun to go back and read what everybody has to say about our selections, good and bad. I mean, we all prefer that they be good, but we appreciate you taking the time nonetheless, even if you leave us bad reviews. So,
And please, somebody pick the get me off the hook.
No, you know what's nice too is that like last week nobody picked my records, but a whole bunch of people made reference to them, so
Yeah.
it still felt pretty good.
Yeah.
yeah,
good.
exactly. So for Larry the Canadian Studmuffin, Glenn Calloway, Steve from All the World's a Stage, and Chris Levine, and myself, take care, everybody. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.